All right, Tony, start it.
All right, are we recording
Yes.
this whole time?
4 minutes in. Yeah.
Oh no! Hold on.
The ramblings of Madman have been
Glass,
recorded.
make sure to start now.
Oh, he's editing this.
All right, Tony, take it away.
You leave your hovel again, I swear to God. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to D&D 404. I am your DM, Tony, and joined with me today are the other 4 grocery stores I like to get my groceries at, starting with the... we'll go to the check. Nope. The quick. This lane is for 10 items or less. That's right. You got 12, Jared.
What's going on, guys? Armos is not checking in, and my grocery store choice is, I would say, a Fairway. I don't know if you guys have that, but they got excellent meat. That's what they're known for, is their meat areas, and you can go there, get all the meats that you want. It's wonderful.
The Fairway.
Yeah,
Took us the Fairway.
Yeah. It's great, right? Well, that's mine. How about Dan?
Hello, everybody. I used to play Minnis, PebbleWalker, your tiny little Swarmkeeper Ranger of the Every Boulders, but no longer. Sad. And I am the BJs of this podcast. Let's go get it in bulk, get that membership, and let's go get some BJs. How about you, Alec?
My name is Alec. I play, or used to play, Drell of the AshBorn, and I like to go to Whole Foods. I don't know if you guys have Whole Foods around you, but it's like one of my favorite places to go. Yeah. And wait, who's? Oh my gosh, we do have another person in here, Kylie. What about you?
Hi.
Woo! Yeah, welcome, new cast member. Woo!
Glass, put clapping sound effects.
Yes.
Thank you.
I've never played before. I hope you don't hate their choice and who they picked. I love going to Food Basics. I don't think you would have that unless you're Canadian, but they have this great brand called No Name, and everything is No Name brand and yellow, and they even have a rap song, so it's kind of tight. And also, everything's on sale, which is phenomenal. Thanks for having me back to Tony. I think that's how that works.
Yeah, DoorDash. So no,
DoorDash.
DoorDash?
We're gonna go.
Goodness, bro. How much
big
money
bill.
do you make?
I'm all out of doubloons, Jared. I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. Stop and Shop, home and native. Stop and Shop's a good one. Yeah, that's it. Stop and Shop. Don't eat their eggs, but everything else is good. I'm just kidding. Please don't sue me.
No
Stop and
shrimp
Shop.
right now. The shrimp is radioactive, so just be careful out there.
It's fine. Just shrimp in the water over here. It's all good. So now you know the deal. Actually, we don't know the deal because it's a new campaign. That's right. We're
That is
talking.
true.
We are doing session 0 for campaign 2, and we're gonna go ahead and address the new cast member in the room. That's right. We have decided to add a new cast member to the team who's going to join the party, rounding us out at 4 adventurers, which is Kylie. Kylie, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody as they're meeting you for the first time?
Hello, everyone. I'm Kylie. I go by Kyle's McGiles online. I'm a voice actor. I used to be a VTuber, and now I am just an unemployed teacher who makes video analysis online of different books and video games and anime. And I'm so happy to be here. I'm playing Vivian Charmant, who I hope you'll really like.
Yes, and we will go into Vivian Charmant in the new character section. A little teaser there. But that's a good. Do we want to say our characters' names first before we get into, our session 0 and talk about the second campaign?
Yeah, first, I just want to say, Kylie, you're going to do a great job.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
A lot of amazing auditions, but yours was the best. Truly mean that, and you wouldn't be here if that wasn't the case. So don't think too hard. Just play and have fun, and I think everybody's going to love you.
Yeah. Remember, we are a D&D podcast for first-time players, okay? That's how we started. That's what we're used to. That's where the foundation is built upon.
Yeah.
And we're
So
still
you'll fit right in.
learning.
You'll fit right in.
Exactly.
Except when Dan Rule lawyers you. But that's,
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Except when Dan ruins our fun.
You keep saying all these things that just don't sound like me, Alec.
you reminded the teacher that we had homework, dog.
That
all
is
right?
Dan. That is definitely Dan in the campaign.
Yo, he wrote it down in his
Bro.
journal, too.
Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh.
Oh, it's great.
Boram. Boram is my character's name.
Oh, teacher's pet's going first. Okay, here we go.
Deflection. Boram Dumare. Boram Dumare. That is
Yes.
my character's name. What about you, Alec?
Yeah, so my new character's name is Kazel Amberleaf. Yeah. Jared?
J-Man.
I can do a transition, Tony. Let me get to it, bro.
Sorry.
What about you, Jared?
Mylan Vaxon is my character's name. I'm real excited about him. What about Tony?
Hi, I'm the DM of Campaign 2.
There it is.
Yes, coming off the high of Campaign 1, I have been prepping for Campaign 2, taking everybody's character backstory, writing it intricately and woven into the main storyline, and taking new approaches to how I want to narrate the story for the players that they are about to write. There's not going to be a lot of hand-holding in this one. It's going to be much more open sandbox than the first one. Taking the players' notes that we did for the first campaign and implementing them directly into the second campaign.
I do have one thing that I want to introduce in here real quick.
Sure.
So we are going to do this in video format because of our Kickstarters that we did. I think we're going to release it to the Kickstarter in video, or Dan, correct me if I'm wrong. We're going to release it.
This will be
completely?
video for podcast purposes as well.
Awesome.
But this will the Kickstarters get it early.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
y'all are seeing it first. Maybe
Exactly.
unedited.
Yes.
For
Right? Who
Kickstarters.
knows? But I just wanted to give a shout out to all the people that help fund us and things like that. So all this is possible because of that, and we really appreciate you guys helping us and funding that. And without further ado, let's get going.
Hold on. Shout out to Jared for spearheading it, by the way. This shit's not easy to do.
Shout out Jared.
Excellent project manager. Project manager, J-Man.
Just trying
So
to keep up.
this is actually a great segue because for those who just listen to the podcast on a weekly basis and have not joined a Discord, you're fucking better, or keep up with us on social media, like you're just here for the story, which is totally fine. We launched the Kickstarter and it did fund, as you may have guessed, and because of that, we are now able to really ramp up Campaign 2. We now have hired an editor, which means we could dedicate more time to like smaller side projects and be more involved within the podcast, and frees up a lot of time to do more stuff or just make the like sessions just overall quality better. So because of that Kickstarter, because of your patronage and love and support, we can now focus more on making it even grander than the first one. We hope to top what we did in the first campaign and make the second campaign even better. So thank you again. Yes, thank you again. And now we're going to talk about the world. The
Where
world.
Are we
Where
still
are
in
we?
Humbrea? Is this the
Yes.
same timeline, plane of existence? What's going on?
Am I in a crater again, or what's going on?
There are craters, but no spoilers. No spoilers. Okay. So we have decided that we are going to, yes, the world, it's still going to be taking place in the world of Humbrea. But how many years in the future from Campaign 1, Jared?
404.
404 years from Campaign 1. That's right. So, and the continent that we're going to be focusing on is what, Dan? That's right. We're doing class participation.
The
today.
left continent.
But what is the
Popcorn
left
Dan.
continent called?
The
Sorry, the teacher's pet can't get
West Humbrea.
What? Okay. Okay. It was
raising my
mentioned in the
hands.
first campaign because of a major catastrophic event. Alec?
Popcorn, Jared.
We're just not saying it because we know the new person should say it, and she knows, right?
Yes,
Kylie?
Kylie.
No, I shouldn't.
Kylie.
I'm
really
the
building
senior
suspense.
here.
Because we know you know. It is the Heartland. That's right. Wow, you guys, great
The
note takers.
Heartland.
Thank you, Kylie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
As you may know, the first campaign took place in the world of Humbrea, and there are some changes there to the world map, which I'll briefly gloss over. As you can see, there's now new towns. Some areas are filled in, some empty, some full areas are emptied out, and things have been changed around. But that's not where our story takes place. No, it takes place over the Kambuki Isles from the Heartland. Through the victories of Campaign 1, the Heartland had began to regrow because, spoiler alert, it was devastated by a Christo during the first campaign. Now it is regrowing. So the campaign takes place 404 years from Campaign 1, where we are now using a city hub system where basically this one main city and then there are smaller towns surrounding the main city. And the main city of the Heartland is Boldaris, where the story will start and take place. It's a big, huge city. And there's a lot of unique biomes here. And a quick thing I want to reference, because we're doing this new sandbox format, is that I left a lot of empty negative space on this world map because I want to fill it in as we go. One of my pitfalls in the first campaign is I filled out the world map before even session 1, and it really limited on what I could do and tell the story, the locations we can go, because I had this whole continent and they pretty much just stood right here the whole campaign.
Yeah, I felt railroaded for sure.
Yeah. So, oopsie daisies.
Yeah.
But we have come up with some cool biomes. And with the help of the players here, if they would like to talk about some of the areas they contributed to, I took their notes and implemented into the world directly because this is a collaborative storytelling. Dan, why don't you talk about something you made?
Sure. Yeah, if you're looking at the forest, that's definitely one of the main products of my character.
Yes.
That need to be there for Boram. Rockhead Forest, but probably more north of Rockhead Forest is going to be the swamp, the marshlands, all the wetland kind of looking areas where Boram comes from. I'm not going to say too much about that, but I think you can maybe guess by the name and the biome what my character might sound like. So that is where my family grew up in the north. There's more historical background to my family that will be revealed, but the main thing I asked Tony is just give me a forest so I can have a swamp. I just need to have a swamp that I come from, and I'm good.
And I'm a kind DM, so I gave it to you. Yeah, I definitely wasn't bullied into doing it. Yep.
I'm very grateful he gave me the bare necessities to my background.
Yeah. Thank you for allowing him to play the character he wanted to play, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, the world is going to get filled out the more the heroes adventure to it, adventure within it, and then this map will be updated live with each session to reflect the changes and new discoveries, because the Heartland is relatively in infancy because it was completely devastated from the first campaign. Boldaris is the only fully thriving city. There are tons of small towns and hamlets and smaller civilizations, but Boldaris is the only major city, and the small villages support it, and it supports them. And the city is only about 200 years old, which is still a baby within itself for those cities.
Yeah.
But so it is a melting pot of all different types of species and races, and there's a lot of unique areas. So we'll look at that map in a minute. As we want to talk about the fantasy setting. So the fantasy setting is remaining the same. It's going to be the same fantasy setting as Campaign 1. We're not going into steampunk. We're not going into Spelljammer or anything like that. It's going to be that same classic D&D style that we stuck with in the first campaign.
Just slightly more magic. Slightly more development in the magic side of things.
Yeah.
Kylie, where's your character kind of hail from without giving too much away?
If I am not wrong, the main city ports, I think, is where my family is based, but I am definitely in Boldaris. Oh no, yeah, I am in Boldaris. My family's from Boldaris. Thank you for the help,
Born
Tony.
and raised.
That is what I can give away is I come from one of the founding families of Boldaris.
Oh, okay. Drama. I love it.
There is a lot of drama, but I am a part of a family from there, and Boldaris is my home, and I love it. I love it there very much.
Yeah.
That's what I'll put before we explain our characters.
So we got
But I'm born and raised
a
Boldaris.
swamp guy and a city girl. and wherever Jared's from.
I am from the top left portion of the map, which is this forest area right here. It is called Woodvane. It is given this name because it is a spawning green labyrinth of shifting forest. There's only the locals know how to get in and out of the city.
Ooh,
That's kind of
that's
cool.
fun.
Very cool.
Yep.
So people get lost, huh?
Yes, so that's their. It's been kind of a fortified area because the locals are the way to get in and out, and it's pretty good stronghold for them and why they've prospered for so long.
No kidding.
And it's hidden from the world map. Ooh, why? Ooh. What are these question marks? Ooh.
Yep, can't say much more
Those
than
are
that.
question marks? I just thought they were little squiggles.
No, they're
They're
question
definitely
marks.
question marks.
Yeah.
Alec, what about your character?
Yeah. So my character is actually not from the material plane. Kazal is from the Feywild, so he has lived on an entirely different plane of existence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny. It's, this whole thing, campaign 1 happened 404 years ago. And Kazal is, I guess I'm not going to give anything away too much, but he's older than that. But he's just lived on a different plane, so he was just not here when it happened.
So I do have a world map, my interpretation of the Feywild, but it's nowhere near done.
Yeah.
And I don't think
Rough draft for sure.
it's super rough draft, but it's I don't think you guys, at least in the first arc, I don't think you're gonna touch actually going to the Feywild. Maybe it depends what you guys do. The Feywild is tied into the story because a lot of characters' backstories, which we'll get into later, perhaps. But there is a map for the Feywild that's going to be my interpretation of it. I don't like how the Feywild is really portrayed in raw D&D. So similar to what I did, Shadowfell is what I'm going to do with the Feywild. I'm kind of put my own spin on it. So going into the campaign, it's like, the Feywild works like too freaking bad because it's going to be my interpretation of it. Now, a biggie. This topic might make some listeners angry. They might make them excited. Some people might be on the fence about it because they don't know how to feel about it because it's too new. But this, we're gonna talk about the rule set that we're using for campaign 2. And this is a biggie. So we're using the 2024 rule set, or 5.5, or 2024 5e, whatever you want to call it. We're using the new books, and there's a lot of controversy around these books, and I personally think that the controversy lies, like, why people don't like it too much is for all the wrong reasons. I think a lot of people don't like the art in the book. That's a separate conversation. I personally think half the art is whack and half of it's great. It's really 50-50 in the book. If you flip through it, some of it's gorgeous, some of it just looks like absolute buns. That's up to you. But the words in the book are really good. I like a lot of the new rule changes. I think it makes combat a lot faster. It makes it much more interesting. I think martial classes get a great buff where they're not just so much as hack and slash, or if you're not a battle master fighter, there's so much more that you can do that really speed things up and keep it interesting and give them more agency, especially early on. And I really think that if the 2024 rule set, because I haven't seen a campaign use these rule sets yet, I'm sure there's 1 or 2 out there. I really think we can do it justice. And I feel like if we play it, more people might like it when it's portrayed in the right way, perhaps, or portrayed differently. What do you guys think about it?
I don't know if I have much else to say about it. I think it's a good system. It's nice because you can plug and play old races and classes and subclasses if you wanted. Like, I'm going to be playing the original, I almost said the subclass, the original Artificer to start until we get the new rules in December. We were supposed to have them by now, so I'm a little upset about that. But
yeah, they were supposed to come out in August, I think.
It was.
Yeah.
And
right? Did they push it back? They did push it back.
It did. So it'll be coming out in December. I already have it pre-ordered. I've had it pre-ordered for a while. And right now I'm just Tasha's. I'm Tasha's almost said it again. Artificer. I'm Tasha's Artificer. and it's really easy. You just plug and play
That's in our.
the original way that was in Tasha's Cauldron, where
Yep,
they
it was.
made it official.
Mhm.
It came before that.
I think it's in
American
Eberron.
Arcana.
It
It's
I
also
think it just
in
adds to the
Eberron.
subclass. I don't.
I think it's added subclasses. You might be right.
Yeah.
but if you look on the D&D Beyond, it does say Tasha's thing.
But
But real quick, it definitely
Yeah,
a lot of
everyone
the
Yep.
spells and things like that make it the ambiguity. I can't even say that word. I couldn't say it last night either.
Ambiguous?
Ambiguity.
The ambiguous rules on some of the spells is definitely cleared up a lot,
Oh, yeah.
which is a bummer for someone who likes to thread the needle a little bit, like myself. But I will say, since this is session 0 and this may be the first introduction for a lot of people, we should probably say what we're playing, because we've said our character names, wherever
Right.
we're from.
I
Dan
guess I
alluded-
just said it, right?
alluded what
I'm
he's coming
artificer.
from.
Yeah.
Well, we're kind of going broad into specific, so maybe we should
Gotcha.
save. Yeah, like Dan mentioned Artificer, but we'll save that for the end because people want to
Okay,
know
okay.
what the characters are. But I feel
Kylie,
like we
what
need
do
to
you
narrow it
think
down.
That's
about
true.
the new rules?
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, I am definitely the newest. Although I've dabbled here and there, I've been kicked out of many D&D campaigns. Now I'm
Do we
somebody.
know this during the interview process? Do we know
Yes.
that little thing? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
She's a bad girl. That's why I picked her.
She
We don't
just
play
plays
by
by
the
rules.
She loves PvP. She just likes to literally just fight the other players.
So it's my favorite
On the
thing.
table. On the table, by the way.
Oh,
Me and Alec are definitely fighting. We were definitely fighting. If anyone's gonna be me and Alec for sure. But yeah, you said you have played a little, so you know the basics of
Yes.
D&D. But this will be your first
Generally-
time with 2024, right?
Yeah. So I haven't gone too in depth on what's changed and what hasn't. I like that there are new things coming in. I like when rules are cleared up because although I also like to thread the needle a little bit, I'm a big fan. Baldur's Gate helped like kind of align things for me. I love piling grease and fire to make things explode, but that's sometimes not always the best thing. So from what I've heard, is that there's a lot more structure on the rules and like how you run in combat. So that might be good. Other than that, I know next to nothing, so I'm just excited to try out the new one and hopefully help people see if they like it too.
Yeah, I think it's gonna honestly go over great. I think it's gonna open some eyes and new perspectives to the rule set. I think if they listen in.
yeah. I think a lot of the issue is people don't like change.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's
pretty
horseshit, to be honest. Absolute horseshit. And now that I know that Dan's playing the old version of his class, I almost think it's only fair that I get to play the old version of my class until Dan has to play the new version.
Until
of his class.
yeah.
No.
Then we
I
all
said-
upgrade and transfer over to the 2024.
No. So I did give you the
Yeah,
option.
It's only
If
fair.
you want to play the 2014 version or the 2024 version, but you have to choose in the beginning. Dan should have had his character by now. Wizard of the Coast are fucking shitting their pants on that one. And Jared's doesn't exist, is being approved, but I allowed him to use that. But he doesn't have an old version.
Oh, wait, so
Yeah,
I
I
can
don't-
play the old version of my class?
But you have to be it. That path, like that, what's the word? Skill tree, we'll call it, right? The level progression.
Mm-hmm.
You have to follow that to the T. You can't choose to use the 2024 version whenever you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oof.
And if you play the new 2024, you can use 2014 subclasses if you like. That's always on the table because they are backwards compatible.
There's only like
with the
one
level
thing I
progressions
really
is
don't like about the whole.
the Divine Smite. And we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
We'll talk about
yeah.
that. And,
Wow, dude,
I
just
think it's
talk
a very
about-
good balance.
Just talk about my character's abilities. He's like, we'll
Man,
save
man,
what
I
you guys
voted
are playing for
Yeah,
later.
right?
Let me
I know.
just
You
drop
gotta alluded
something
what
on
mine
that.
is.
Let me
Drop
just
yours,
drop
too.
that on everybody while we're.
Well,
while
if
we're
you were
all
listening to
But
the live
you
streams, they
guys
technically
wait.
know,
You guys
okay?
wait until-
They technically know.
Yeah, of course.
So
You're
what
right, I'm
are
dropping
the
the ball.
homebrew rules that are
Yeah.
happening, Tony?
Yes, we have a total of 8, well, 7. We have 7 rules that we're putting into effect. 4 of them are homebrew. Alec, would you tell us about the first one?
Yeah, the first one is one that we kind of adopted late into campaign 1. We all really liked it, and it's great. So, potion rule is if you take it as a bonus action, you would roll for like the outcome. So, like if you're taking a health potion, you would have to roll the whatever d4s to get the total. But if you want to take it as a full action, so instead of like attacking or something like that, then you can get the entire great benefit. So if it's like 10 d4, you're getting all 40 of that plus whatever the modifier on it is. So we all really liked it, and it's gonna be, we're bringing it into campaign 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, all potions are now bonus actions.
Yeah,
as
that's
per
why
2024
I was
rule
using
set.
health as an
Oh, wow.
example, but like
Yes. There may be potions that I give you guys that you have to take on a full turn because of the benefit that you can get from it. Or I mean, it's like a lot more liquid. I might make it like, funny burden
I was about to
to
say.
do. Yeah, very
I remember
large.
turning into a bird once, and that was a full turn of mine.
Man, I'm really glad I brought this big gulp health potion. just smiling, just.
I'll be there in a minute.
I'm gonna craft a camel
right.
pack, bro. That way I can just have it on my back.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, there you go. Just
Dude.
get a little sip.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
so happy
awesome.
we're doing the Perkins script, by the way.
Yes. So number
yes.
2, we're doing Perkins crit. We're bringing it back. So if you roll a crit, you're gonna get full damage, and then you roll another dice to see what the extra damage is. So, Kylie, this is maybe new to you, but normally when people crit, they will roll again, and then add whatever damage it is.
Just double the dice.
Yeah, they'll double the dice. This one
Okay.
where you do full damage for the first one, and then the second one's your addition. So which is kind of cool. It just
Cool,
makes
okay.
crits. It's consistent more damage if you crit this way, which is kind
Yeah.
of fun, and it's just more exciting.
So the full wording on it is you do max weapon damage. So if your weapon does 1d10, it's 10 damage plus whatever you would roll normally. So we'd roll 1d10 plus mods. So if you roll 7, 17 damage.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
Big hit.
Dan, why don't you get the next one?
Yeah, this is one that Alec came up with last season, I was going to say, last campaign, where we forego movement or are able to use a bonus action to do checks in combat. It just helps clean things up. Bless your soul. I was watching that wind up, too. Like, is
was real
is
bad.
Tony being exercised right now?
Right?
So Kylie, how it works is like there are oftentimes like moments where we want to know information in the middle of combat, but it becomes really messy when we're constantly asking him for information, and it just slows things down. So now we made it where we can just use a bonus action or give up all of your movement, and that then you get to roll that check like, oh, wait, can I see if they have a vulnerability on their leg or something? Can I see if there's a way out of this mess as we're fighting? That kind of stuff. It helps make combat more of a puzzle as well. So it's not just we have to
Right.
hack and slash out of every situation.
Yeah.
And maybe the most exciting one for you is the 4th homebrew rule there.
I was bullied into this one. I did not want to give you guys this one at all. I was bullied.
Why not?
Because fuck you, that's why, Dan. All right? If you really want to know the honest reason, that's why. It's a free feat. Everyone gets a free feat of their choice as long as their character fits into the prerequisites. You get a free feature.
So Kylie, one of the things that Armos had in the first one that I took was what was it? Inspiring. What was it called?
Inspiring leader.
Yeah, it was something like that. So basically, Armos consistently was doing 10-minute speeches to give everyone like extra temporary hit points. And Tony would make me try to role play it so many times, and after a while, it just got ridiculous. So then, by the end of the campaign, I was doing like full monologues on stuff, which is kind of fun.
The next 3 rules are already rules in the game, but we are choosing to implement. The one I'm choosing to implement is encumbrance. Because we are using a main city hub where characters will live, I'm enforcing encumbrance. So I will be loose when it comes to like you don't need to do weight times strength is what you can hold. But like if you find a chest of gold or you find something that is noticeably heavy or you have all this adventuring gear that you think you may be out of the city for a week or two, I will make you keep track of it. And I will force you to like have carts and things like that to travel with and to take care of. And I will, if you guys say you're going to a cave, okay, and you have all this camping gear, are you leaving the giant cart that can't fit in the cave outside? How are you hiding it? What are you leaving with it? You know? And those things are at the will of the environment. So if you're in a dangerous area and stuff like that, things could get stolen, destroyed, missing. Because you guys are going to have this next rule, we are using the Bastion system in this campaign, which is basically, if you don't know what the Bastion system is, it's basically you have a house. So as it was just written, it says it's a safe place where the DM can't touch. That is not true. We are not playing with that rule. But you can fortify it. You are in a city, so it's not going to be like, oh, a bunch of goblins attacked your house. But it is going to be something that you can upgrade. It will give you benefits because we're going to be using downtime in this campaign, and we are following the calendar of Harpdos. So there's going to be events that happen on specific days. We're going to follow the holidays. We're going to keep track of the dates and all that. We're trying to keep to a true D&D campaign like you would play at your table for people who don't stream their campaigns. We're trying to make this as honest to the table as possible. Table to podcast, I would call it. You know, like from farm to table. So we're doing table podcast to table, or table to podcast. That's what we're doing. And the last thing is that all dice rolls and boss fights are going to be made above the table. Because I've warned these players that death is much more prevalent in this campaign. Now, I'm not trying to go out and kill you right off the bat, but if the boss gets 3 nat 20s in a row, I don't want to be called getting fudged on. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say I'm fudging rolls. Everything is being made above the table, and we're gonna let the dice tell the story, okay?
This was also per my request, more so of a logistic thing, because I want to be able to just see the damage, and if I forget, look back and do the math without having to ask Tony. We've wasted so many minutes re-asking stuff in the podcast, and that's also going to just help us keep all the information ready and available for us.
And it's more exciting for us if all of a sudden it's like the boss attacks you. Oh no! We all react before Tony even says it's a 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for the encumbrance, so you're saying if I get like a pocket dimension and I throw all the gold into it, I'm good at that point.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
By the way, question that should have been asked yesterday. What happened to all the money?
Oh, yeah. What happened to all the money? Well, I mean, you have access to it. I mean, we didn't...
Whatever almost did with it.
Wait. Do you have access to it? Ooh. We may have to do a one-shot.
Yeah, right.
We may have to do a one-shot. So, here's a question I want to ask all of you live.
Are we live right now? Are we?
Yes. Or, because we talked about it, but we're going to debate about it now. Because this is something I want. And it's something that we discussed last campaign that I was thrown out the window. Because the dice rolls are being made above the table, so there's full transparency for boss fights and key events and things like that. And by the way, this are attack rolls and dex and like saving throws with monsters, not what's behind the door or story stuff like that. Should we keep death saving throws hidden between DM and player? So that other party members, because now there's 4 of you, don't know if like someone's on life support or not.
I like the idea of that. I don't know if everybody else does. In the first campaign, we decided to keep it above table for the excitement.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is going to be a more serious toned campaign. There's still going to be a lot of comedy. It's just what we do. But I think it would help with some of the serious moments if it's between player and DM.
How do we role play that without obviously just saying like
what I would do say if you passed or failed, right? If somebody wanted to use, so talk about one of the rules that we just set, wanted to forego a bonus action or movement action to investigate somebody, like, hey, Dan is down 30 feet. What can I tell? I want to make a perception check to see how he's doing. And depending on what he rolls, if he rolls like really high, be like, he's spitting up blood, which means he's not doing good, which means he probably failed that last check, right? Or like if somebody failed like 2 out of 3 of their rolls and they go to check on him, like, what do I see? I'm like, he's puddling blood. Like, blood is starting to just ooze out of him.
Say Dan's down, right? What is Dan role playing that isn't so like it? Where we were running into an issue with this last one is that Dan's down and he's like, help! I'm bleeding like profusely. How does that not portray what he already rolled as opposed to rolling it over the table? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like his performance is going to tell us exactly what's going on.
I think it's up to the other players to role play it. Personally, I think it's.
I agree.
Yeah,
if
he's
I'm
unconscious.
Down, I'm not role playing shit. If I'm down, you guys got to either save me or not, and that becomes the dramatic part of the podcast.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, obviously we're going to try to save you, but I mean, like,
I'm not.
If you're down, are you just? Can you not
Welcome.
talk? Because I feel like if whatever you say tells us what that role is.
I don't think any of us
No
talked.
talking.
Well, I don't think campaign 1, any of us, once we were knocked unconscious and doing death saving throws, none of us talked. It was only like memeing, like if we were like getting like fucked up or something, then we would talk about it.
I don't know. I remember Jared going, help me. Help me.
But that was Jared,
That was
not
Jared.
Armos.
He was like getting stepped on by a giant lizard. And he's like, help me.
Yeah, that was Jared talking, not Armos.
I don't know exact instance you're talking about, but that sounds like me.
Maybe a little bit.
I mean, that sounds fine
probably.
to me. I think I didn't want to do it in the middle of a campaign, but I don't think if we start it with day 1, I don't have an issue with it.
I don't have a preference either way. I just want to make sure that like it's more interesting doing it this way. Like, I think it's more interesting for us, but I just want to make sure it's more interesting for the listener.
Yeah. Well, that's for us to figure out. Right now, my vote's let's do it.
Under the table?
Yeah.
If you're under the table, put your hand up. If you're above the table, keep your hands down.
There's a way
Under
we
the
can
table.
edit it so
Yeah.
that
So
the
what I would
viewers
do-
get to see.
So in the sound effects, I'd probably put like a negative sound effect on it, like a dreadful one or a hopeful one, but won't actually say anything. So death saving throws will be under the table from DM to player, and it's up to the other adventurers to decide if he's in good condition or not. Figure that out. Awesome. Love it. I love it. I think that's great. So with that effect, we went over the Bastion system. They're going to have homes. If they choose to buy one, it's going to be their home base. If they want to do downtime activities, it'll be done in those locations. There's going to be world events that happen. So if they want to wait for a holiday or like there's a heist on the 17th, right? They may have a few days. So it'll be easier to do time skips if the players don't want to just like fill out 3 days of adventuring. They want to just like, hey, I want to do downtime towards this goal or whatever. You know, I want to get this item or gain this ability. You mean, I don't know. So the next thing I'm going to introduce is the XP system. So we are still doing milestone leveling. I will level you up at the appropriate times. Every monster in this in D&D has XP. And I'm going to award XP to the killing blow and keep stats on everything. How many monsters you guys kill, how much gold you have accrued throughout the entire campaign. Kind of like awards that you would get at the end of a Mario Party game.
You're doing
All the
MOBA
stars
rules,
we
is
get
what you're
awarded?
saying?
Yeah.
Stars.
Yes. So at the
Pretty much
end of the
stars.
campaign in 4 years from now, we're going to see, Alec has got the final blow on all these characters.
Yeah.
Or and then when I award cool moments, when you do something really cool, I'm going to give you an XP value. So like if Dan did like a cool backflip over a monster to kill another monster, I'm going to be like, you're awarded 50 XP points.
Wow.
It's just flashy
Nice.
numbers. It's just flashy numbers. But I'm going to give you XP, and then at the end of the campaign, and even at the end of arcs, we're going to like show like the point system to see where like everyone is. It just gamifies D&D a little bit. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's just something going on in the background. A way to keep score for bragging rights, but it will not affect your characters directly.
Or the story.
I'm going to make a new character.
So, with that, before we talk about our characters, I want to open what Boldaris looks like. So we talked about this hub that the players are going to be living in and coming back and forth to. And I spent a lot of time on this, and I will be polishing it up as we go along. But this is the city of Boldaris. It is a huge city map with many different districts and with many different biomes. And you have, upper classes, middle classes, lower class, farm districts, and everything is neatly inside these walls. So this map is also detailed enough that we can zoom in at high quality because it's also a map to walk around and traverse through. So if there's ever anything happening within the city, you will be playing directly on this map here with alleyways, different buildings that you can enter in. There's also an underbelly of the city, which is found over here, where there's like, mines and things like that, where people harvest like coal, mine for different elements. There's a whole city structure. There's a nice little cemetery. We have the stacks over here, which is a group of buildings where some of the shadier or outlandish races hang out, like skunkins or tabaxis or anything in those nature. Weird critters who want to stay further away from town. Now, the thing I want to say about this city, and of course we have the city center, which is the town square where all big events will be held in. This city does not have a king. It is not a king and queen system. I'm forgetting the name. What is that called?
Oligarchy?
Oligarchy, yes. It is run on a type of democracy. There are 5 major guilds in Boldaris, and the 5 guilds come together for all major city decisions and pretty much just put everything up to a vote. And there's all these different guilds within the city, and I'll briefly go over them if you like.
Give us the basic idea of each guild.
So each guild represents a different ideology or
It's not like
ideology.
the Fighters Guild.
No. It's not the Fighters Guild. Like, fighters and martial classes may be more partial to one because of what they represent, but they're not like specific or fighters, mage, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So the 5 guilds are the House of Arms, which is more of the military and where martial classes would lead towards. There's the Tower of Scholars, which is more of the intellectuals and more people who are favored of the arcane through study. They're the ones that actually take care of the city, like future-proof things. They see how, like, if we build a building here, how would it affect the rest of the city, and kind of keep things with an even flow. Then there's the Observers of the Astral, which is a relatively new guild within the 5, which observe more of the they observe the stars and outer worldly things. They bring everyone humble that they are just a small part of the world of Humbrea, and their decisions affect a bigger and grander scale. Then there's the Abundsmen of Dragons, which are those who speak for dragons, because dragons are very particular about their land. And if they're making any major changes to the world, how would it affect dragons? Would it offend dragons? Would it encroach on their territory? So whenever a major decision is made, they kind of speak for them like, hey, if we go in this forest and kind of tear down the forest for lumber, green dragons might be pissed at that. And they keep everyone in check because dragons can level a city very easily. Although there are evil dragons, they do like to keep people around because it also benefits them. It's like a give and take, and they speak for them. And then lastly, we have the Nature's Branch, which do the same thing as the Abundance of Dragons, but on a nature level. So, once again, leveling a forest, how would that affect wildlife, the endemic life? How does things that happen within a city will affect everyone around the city through, nature and things like that? So all of these different representations kind of keep everything kind of like a massive quality control check to make sure that life is good within the city as well as out of it, because they don't want to piss anything off, because they just came out of a world cataclysmic event. They know that a great force can come in and take them out at any time, so they want to keep everything balanced. And that's like what the goal of the 5 guilds are. So there are people within the city that fund these guilds, like when they pay their taxes or donate, they'll donate it in the name of like the House of Arms or the Tower of Scholars to kind of gain favor. And, you know, if they don't like what one guild is doing, they can potentially get like pushed out, or like the leaders of those specific guilds can get pushed out. And there are smaller guilds within the city, but they don't have that political favor that these guilds have. Like, there's smaller guilds, there are fighter guilds, there are like brawler guilds, there's like underground thieves guilds and stuff like that you would find in a normal D&D campaign, but they don't have that influence that these guilds have.
They're more like clubs.
Pretty much, yeah, is the best way to put it. But yes, this is the city of Balderas. I put a lot of work into it. I try to make it as detailed. I would be polishing it over more as we go on. But yeah, everything has a reason for where it is, and I don't know. I'm kind of proud of it. I think it looks pretty cool.
I like it.
Yeah, same.
It'll be fun to figure out what's going on in this city.
Yeah.
Can't wait to break it.
You
Wait,
can
did I just
change
see
the
Vivian?
city.
I think I just saw Vivian. There she was.
So when we play, there will be
I was
tokens.
frolicking.
Yeah, there will be like massive people. I hope Roll20 doesn't break on us, to be honest, with the amount of assets that we're uploading to it. But yeah.
I love how
Cool.
detailed it is. I love walking around especially in D&D. My favorite thing is just like walking around places and learning them. So.
How do you
This
feel
is
about
great.
shopping episodes?
Oh, I love those. I love
got a
how
few of those.
stupid people can get, and then it just pays off in the end.
Like if someone wants to get like a cup of water or something like that.
Yeah.
I still don't know what the cup of water's for. I can't believe we didn't ask that question.
It's just a component. It's just a
It
component.
was a
for
component.
For
spells.
what?
The simplest spells.
I think it was witch
Witchbolt or something.
Yeah. It's like, I just
But
need a cup
Tony,
of
for the
water.
first like 20 episodes, was like, "What is the cup?"
I'm like red string theorying. Like, what does he have it for? Is he gonna cast wish?
Did he find a way to cast a wish behind the scenes?
Oh man.
At the moment you've been waiting for, let's talk about our characters.
Woo!
And we're gonna start off with the
Yeah.
newest member, Kylie.
Yes.
Ah! Yay! I'm Vivian Charmant. I come from the local area, born and raised. I am a tiefling and a rogue at that. But Vivian is a fun character because she is a noble. She's very to herself. She's reserved, but she has been very desperate to have friends and people around her while also maintaining the fact that she is, well-to-do. She has face to save in the area, so if she gets a little excited, she gets flustered, and then she calms herself down and she's back to her normal noble cadence. What else about her that I share?
What does she look like?
What does she look like?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. She is. I wanted her horns, so I was very specific on her horns. They're these curly little things on the top of her head because it's a stupid looking goat I found once. And I will try to send you the reference picture so it's available.
We're gonna have goat horns in every
but-
campaign
Yes.
now.
Go horns. They're super curly. She is going to be a purple toned kind of tiefling. She has long braided hair that's always filled with flowers. Mostly for the aesthetics, not anything in particular. She just loves to have flowers on her. She wears a super cool cloak with feathers on them, which is very fun. Anything else I can add that's guaranteed
Does
concern?
she have a
And
tail?
She does.
Cool.
They have to have a tail. It's long.
They
It's
gotta.
also purple.
Okay, some of us didn't know that we had tails for a very long time.
Surprise!
Armos woke up and went, "What is this?"
I didn't know
That's how
until
bad the
after I
amnesia
got
was.
our
He had his character art for like 3 weeks too before he. He's like, I have a tail? You can't do that.
No, it was during our reveal. I was like, I didn't know I had a tail.
So do you have one of those thick dragon tails, or is it like a whippy devil tail?
Oh, whippy devil tail, one that just smacks you real fast. She's kind of concealed behind her cloak. You don't see it too often. Although she's quite visibly a tiefling, she tries to keep, herself nice and proper. All together, her tail's not going everywhere, unless probably overly excited. Then maybe it's swinging around like a dog, which I think would be fun. But other than that, she is from the Charmant family, but they do not fully claim her. She's seen as more of like help to the family. So Vivian doesn't mind sharing.
Reel it back.
Yeah.
That's all we'll say.
That's all we'll say. But she loves people. But she does some weird things, and she's fun. Dan, let's hear yours.
Wait, before we move on, I want to know so being that this is going to be like your first long time campaign, what is a goal or a desire, whatever that is, as a player that you really hope happens, either just as a player alone or with this specific character?
Without giving too much away.
Yeah. Yes. For myself, I hope I can actually complete a full character arc that I enjoy. Because I know my character's goal. I hope I reach that goal. I will not share it unless you.
Jesus, man.
And I hope I can go through that whole arc with this character. And for this character, I hope that she is eventually able to open up and be friendly towards others. Just allow herself to be the person she likes, not just the person she has to show on the outside.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
without giving things away.
Boram Dumaray. Also got a French last name. They're all. I was talking to Tony, I think, about this. We all unintentionally threw little things into our backstory that I think all somehow intertwine perfectly with one another. And I was like, oh my gosh, we got someone with a French name, Alex in the Feywild, which will relate to me in some way, and maybe something in my backstory might relate to Jared, but to be determined. I'm not going to say anything about that one.
I just want to say one thing about that. Of course yours does, because you gave me a 20-page fucking backstory, dude.
First of all,
you gave me
5 pages.
Extra small, no spacing, double-sided, okay? Don't even go there, dude, okay? If I showed you Dan's compared to everyone else's...
Listen, I care about my characters, all right? So, Boram, what I can tell you is he was born into a family of druids. So he lived in the swamps his whole life. And for whatever reason, he's had some issues of his own that make it difficult to stay in the swamp. And he's venturing out to try and solve a bunch of his problems, which there are many of in his life. And he's a human artificer. Don't know if I want to say much else outside of that, but maybe you guys can come to conclusions, an artificer being born into a druid family, what that might mean for his backstory. He is a bit rugged, a little rough around the edges, but still likes to dress up and try and stay clean, but he never can. Smokes a lot, gets into some trouble, but not purposefully. What I want, my goal for Boram. So Minnis last campaign was, obviously he had a really good arc, but he was still very one note. He was like, I want to do good. I want to prove myself. That's what I'm doing. Big thing going into this campaign for me was having a bunch of secrets that we all kind of held to ourselves and then got discovered as the campaign went on. And that is just going to be more fun to do. But for Boram specifically, and what I want to happen with this character is I want there to be a really big struggle to be vulnerable with other characters that didn't really happen with Minnis. I want, Minnis was like, I wear my heart on my sleeve. This is what's going on in my life. I'm crying over everything. You guys should. Why aren't you crying with me? Like, that's Minnis. Bo-Ram's very much going to be like, he's loud, he's boisterous, but he wants to figure things out on his own, and he thinks he can do everything on his own, and he needs to discover, maybe I can be vulnerable and let people in, and maybe there's, there are other people out there that I can connect with. So that's I think all I'm going to give away about him is, very vulnerable guy, but doesn't show it on the outside. So I just want that to happen with Bo-Ram, and I think I'm going to have a really fun time. He's got a New Orleans accent.
Oh, what does that sound like, Dan?
You'll know session 1.
Ooh, tune in for that.
Gambit, right?
You know how long I've been waiting for this?
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
gonna
literally Dan. Dan just wanted an excuse to do a Gambit accent, so that's what he's going for.
This. Maybe you know what? Maybe I can actually share some of my preliminary. While I'm finding this, Jared, you talk about your character.
Alagos.
You want
Alec,
me to go?
you ready? Yeah.
right.
You go first. I'm pulling up my stuff.
Okay, yeah, no worries. So yes, I am playing Kazil Amberleaf. Kazil is a Autumn Eladrin. He is from the Feywild, as we previously talked about. There are obviously 4. Well, I guess maybe not obviously if you're not familiar with the Fey, but there are 4 courts within the Feywild. There's the Autumn one, which Kazil's from. There's the Winter, Spring, and Summer. I might kind of save the. I'll kind of talk about it. Like I said, he's a Fall Eladrin, so he does have a fair to tan skin tone, golden blonde hair. He doesn't really put flowers or leaves or anything in his hair, but he does like the symbols that represent the fallen, the autumn court. So that is like leaves, bare trees, stuff like that. A lot of that does represent the court and his religion. He is a paladin. I don't know if I've said that. He is a paladin. He does worship the god Sehani Moonbow. So his symbol of the church is like a moon with like a weird like crescent shape that like is over it. He's tall. And like I said, so one thing about Eladrins are you can change the season that you are. I think Tony and I kind of talked about it, and even though I can do it on a long rest while I'm trancing, I think we're going to do it based off story if that ever comes up. Right now, I don't plan on changing which Eladrin season he is. But because he is a Fall Eladrin, his eyes are like that forest colored, like bright green. But yeah, very excited. I think it'll look really cool. And that is Kazil.
What was your thoughts going in when creating your character?
Yeah. So I wanted to play something that was melee again, but I didn't want to just play a fighter again. So I also thought the Paladin story was really cool. So I wanted to have some sort of spell casting. Paladins, they have a little bit. They get to do smite. And that's kind of what Tony and I were talking about earlier about the transition from 2014 rules to 2024 rules is the Paladin smite, I believe, counts as a spell
slot.
Yeah, so spell slots are now counted towards smite when in the previous versions they weren't. So one of the main things is I kind of talked about this during the live stream, I didn't want to do like Drell 2.0. So I'm gonna have to try to find that line where he is a paladin, he is on a mission, he's very serious and determined to right the wrongs that were committed against him. But Alec is a very lighthearted, I like to crack jokes. So that's really where that stemmed from Drell and a lot of the other characters that I've played, whether it's our one shots or Halloween sessions or something like that. So trying to find the difference and keeping that difference and not blurring the two characters is like really my only goal that I have right now with like playing a new character in campaign 2.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited to hear more about him as we get into it.
Yeah, very excited.
Having someone from a different plane of existence makes things very interesting.
And I thought that would kind of be cool, right? Because he is he's like 1,000 years old or something like that. I have it written down somewhere, but and we can also kind of talk about this. The Feywild time, like Shadowfell, time is different, right? So he's not super old, but he was alive like while Drell, Armos, and Minnis were going around in Humbrea, but he was just in the Fey, living his life. So kind of having that as he comes to the material plane and being like, wait, what? Like the last time I was here, like, what are you talking about? So it's going to be interesting. And I think that story in itself, or that little subplot line, is going to be kind of interesting.
One little note I'll add about the Feywild is that there's no day and night cycle in the Feywild. It's whatever the season is related to the court, because the courts are the dominant presence in the Feywild.
Mm-hmm.
So like the summer court's always daytime, and winter it's always nighttime, and then areas around those courts will follow depending on where they are. So some areas are permanently night, some areas are permanently in twilight, so time is perceived differently there.
Yeah. Very
it's a little
interesting.
Food for thought, yeah.
All right, go for it, Jared.
All right. Mylan Vaxon. He is a red panda. He is the size of a halfling kobold, so about 3 feet tall. So he's a tiny little guy. He's exactly what you think a red panda would look like in a humanoid kind of form. The characteristics that I brought over that I talked about, if you watched our last episode, is that his right eyebrow has like a scar on it, which is the same thing that Armos had.
He's bisexual, yes. Yes.
No, that's my character.
But yeah, so that's one thing. So I mentioned this in the episode yesterday that we did, where that's just one of those things that I wanted to bring over with all my characters, is just have that as like a fun characteristic. But where it's going to be different is that he is a scion, and his eyes are different colors. So what is it called? Heterochromia?
Heterochromia?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
So his left eye is a normal kind of, golden color. And then his right eye is actually, where the scar is as well, is a kind of a glows teal faintly.
So
his
red pandas don't exist in D&D.
Yes. So the way that we're flavoring this is that he is a tabaxi.
Yes, we're using the tabaxi race stat block and flavoring it as a red panda. It was the closest thing. So rather than making a whole new subclass, I'm like, oh yeah, red pandas could do the same things that tabaxis do, and they have climbing speed and all that. So mechanically, he's a tabaxi. Same thing what we did with Minnis. He's a minotaur. He's gnome. We had gnomes halfling stats, but he's a minotaur.
Yeah,
flavored in the same minotaur.
Yeah.
So we're doing the same thing.
So for someone who has no idea what a scion is, what is a scion?
They are I think the only intelligence-based class in the game. Is that?
Oh.
No, I guess
Wizards.
Wizards, yeah.
Me.
Wizard.
Artificers, wizards, scions now.
Oh, are they? Okay. Yeah, science. So they're 100% intelligence-based, which they can have 4 different subclasses. One of them, and what they do is they use their mind to interact with everything. So they're, psychic in some way. Either they can move things or manipulate their body in certain ways, or manipulate the environment around them, which is kind of interesting.
Okay.
So they can do a lot of different things. There's 4 different subclasses. Each one is very different from each other. You can be an intelligence melee, and that's what I was gonna say, is that they're the only one of those. But I guess artificers, are kind of can be that with certain ones of their class. But regardless, they're new, they're fun. I know a little about them, and I'm just excited to kind of mess with it, which will be cool.
Eldritch Knights would like to have a word with you, Jared.
Oh yeah. Nice. But what I was saying about his eye and his scar on his eyebrow, and also his right ear are kind of frayed as well, and they glow in that teal kind of thing. So the teal is to kind of give off the psychic kind of vibe. I didn't want to use purple since it was kind of already overdone, and I wanted to use something kind of fun and new. But like I said before, he's from his wood vein part of the continent. And yeah, the reasoning behind my character is I wanted to do something completely different than Armos. Armos was vengeful, angry, nothing got in his way. So this character is going to be a massive departure from that is the idea. So hopefully turns out well from what I created and the backstory. I put a lot of work into it, and I hope that it pays off. We'll see. But
Sounds
Dan?
sweet.
I'm so excited. But yeah, there's a lot of complex behind those furry exterior.
A lot of complexity behind those red panda ears.
Right.
What's
By the way, I love red pandas, so that's why I was like, I gotta do it. Like, I gotta put so much. Like, I was like, okay, well, what do I want my character to be? And I was like, well, it's just what
is your goal for this campaign with this character besides just being like different from Armos?
I mean, that was really it's so hard to like. Armos had just every story I would want to tell ever, like a revenge story. He kind of started off as a blank canvas and became a complex character, which I think was really cool. So this one, yeah, I think he's going to be a little bit more focused on what I want to tell the story. I don't want to say too much about it, but
Yeah.
also have fun along the way and not be as I felt like Armos had to be kind of like the leader in a lot of ways. Not like that was leading, but like it was always like, all right, here we go. We got to go this way. We got to do this. You know, this one he's going to be more of a kind of taking a back seat to doing that. And you may have to go and run after him and chase him.
We have
or
Mr.
something.
Paladin over here.
Exactly. So I don't know. Just trying to do something completely different was literally the biggest goal and hurdle. And everything about it has just been trying to just do something new.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I did want to share this for Tony. We do finally.
Yeah,
have...
it's right there, by the way. If you need the share button, it's right there, dude.
Thank you.
It's right
I
there.
appreciate
Yeah,
that.
no, I just you haven't some trouble before. So
We're already on it.
Cool.
we got Bo Ram's official character art, so I wanted to show you what Bo Ram looks like.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
I forgot about
so
that.
this
Oh
is-
my god, you made this.
This is
You made this, didn't you? You made this.
made this
There's no way
hero
you didn't.
forge. So this is Bo Ram, very original character.
Yeah.
He throws cards. You know,
He throw the cards.
makes things go boom.
Is his eyes shining?
Yeah, dog.
Oh no, I thought,
No, you're
I
just
thought it
getting
was a
lost in
GIF.
them. That's all.
Yeah,
definitely,
that's exactly it. Yeah, that's who I'll be playing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's a truly original character.
Like the rat.
The rat.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Look at the rat. I'll share Bo Ram while we're here. We don't have the other ones, but we do have Bo Ram. So I can show that.
Yeah, Dan was really. He said he was going to be pissed if he didn't get to go first. So he was like, "I'm fucking going first. Fuck you guys. And we're like, all right, man, geez, it's not that big of a deal. So,
Hey, you guys are finally seeing the true side of Dan
Yeah.
when it comes to session prep.
Yeah.
Dude, it is rough,
It
man.
wasn't because nobody else had their sheets yet. This is Boram.
are his
Oh,
eyes
sick.
purple?
His eyes are a violet color.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Ooh.
He's a smoker. Got this dirty blonde hair in a bun kind of mess. Trench coat. These gloves that are kind of special. Bunch of potions and stuff. And he's I think I mentioned it in our little Kickstarter video, but this will be for everyone now. So these this is kind of just a reference to like white linen night or just white linens that you might see in New Orleans back in the day. And I just wanted him to look, messy, but trying to look good, Even though he's constantly messy in some way, things are unbuttoned, things are wrinkled, he still likes to wear nice things and try and dress up because he never got to do that in the swamp. So that's Boram right there. Your human artificer.
I really like the design. I love the belt.
I was worried it was gonna be over encumbering and too bulky, but he nailed everything looking sleek and slimlined. Looks really, really cool.
Yeah, we don't have art for everyone just yet. We're working on it. We took our time to find a really good artist.
I want to say.
Yeah,
My
he's-
sketch looks great.
yeah. I think Kylie's is next, and then Alec has his, and then I think mine's going to be one of the last ones done. And then Tony's maybe after if he gives me some kind of design that he wants.
I'm
Indeed,
totally
you
cool
want
with what
to.
I have, man. I'm just the background. I'm just
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
background. Yeah.
But the reason why it's taken so long is that he is self-taught. He does this for just started doing this for a living. He
Oh, wow.
lives in Brazil currently,
Brazil.
and when I talked to him last, he said that they were doing maintenance in his little area, and they shut off his power for a day or something like that. I
Goodness.
couldn't believe that. I was like, oh my god, that's crazy. So he's definitely worth every penny so far. His talents he's very talented, so
Yeah.
very excited.
Mhm.
Do we
So
know what his name is to shout him out? I just know him as Jay.
Yes, we have his what's the artist station link? We can put it in the description.
Okay. Nice.
yeah, put it in the show notes down below and go check him out.
Give him
And
some,
just to recap, so we have a human artificer, we have a red panda scion, we have a Eladrin paladin, and we have a tiefling rogue. We have a pretty diverse party. I like it. We're kind of all over the place, and I like it. I love it. I think it's going to be great. I will not be launching a DM NPC from the start. If the guys recruit somebody along the way, I'd be happy to join the adventure in that way, but we're not going to start off the bat with a Reginald or anybody. I don't want to fall to just like we don't want to Drell 2.0, like Alex said, he doesn't want to do that. I don't want to fall to a Reginald 2.0 as well. I feel like it would just be another one of those.
Mm-hmm.
So I want, but when they meet a new character, if they want to, bring somebody along, I'll
Adopt
vote for it. Yeah. And I believe that's everything as we come to a closeout, right?
I think
Right,
so.
boys? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I got
so
it.
happy, by the way, that Kylie's playing a rogue.
Yeah, that's going to be
Yeah.
great.
Hoping
It's going to be
Jared's
great.
Yeah.
gonna play a rogue. And they went inside and I was
Rogue
like,
Red Panda
oh.
would be crazy.
Right.
And then Kylie joined. She said rogue. I was like, yes, we got one.
Nice.
I also would like to say that if you are just starting off on campaign 2, you have not listened to campaign 1, don't worry, fret not. This is a standalone story from the first one. There will be some minor callbacks, but this is its own story from the first game. It is not a direct continuation. There will be some Easter eggs for those who have listened to the first campaign. There will be some perhaps returning favorite NPCs returning in here and there as Easter eggs as a part of the city. But they are, you do not
Jared's like,
need
if
to
Jack
know.
looks like he's in this.
You do not need to have listened to the first campaign and know and I'll give Jared a little bit of reprisal, a little respite here. There will be no key returning characters.
Okay.
Ross, the jazz rat, is back, baby. Let's go. He lived 404 years just to show back up.
Yes, the jazz bandits will always live on. But yes, so it is its own story. Fret not, you do not need to listen to the whole first campaign, but I encourage you to do so. And the last thing I'll say is, Kylie, welcome aboard. We are looking forward to having your touch added to the campaign. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Very excited. Thanks
Yeah,
for
it should
picking
be
me.
So
It's gonna be a good time.
yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great, and I'm looking forward to it. We have our first session next week.
Yes.
It's gonna be great.
Very
I can't
excited.
wait. Cannot wait. It's been too long.
Oh, I
Roll
can't
some
wait to
dice.
annoy the hell out of Alec's character.
Probably. Yeah, that's exactly how I
Good
see
thing you
that.
got all those health potions because you're gonna fucking need them.
Don't smite me, please. My poor artificer can't take it.
Yeah. What's your
I'm
HP
basically
right
a
now?
wizard.
Level 1?
Not a lot. I'm sweating about
That
it.
first session's gonna be good. The first session's gonna be good. I can't wait. And with that said, let's give our most Kylie goodbye. How's that sound?
Well,
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, that's offensive.
cut it.
Bye.